Why did you choose to put your kids in a competitive sport?
Well, the initial decision was almost organic. Both my husband and I come from an athletic background, and being from the Caribbean, sports and athletics are a big part of your everyday life. But right after that, after you take the I did it, my parents did it, my family did it. I don't think a lot of people realize that through athletics, you have the most amazing and instrumental life lessons. There are things that you learn, and the higher level of competitiveness that you undertake, those life lessons are, I would say, fundamental for success. Aside from the main lesson of connecting the dots between hard work and effort and commitment, connecting that to success. I mean, that's the biggest lesson, but there are other things, like motivational strategies, goal setting strategies, conflict resolutions, time management, all of those things that you learn those things at a much, I would say, much more accelerated rate through competitive sports. And the higher the level, the stronger the lesson. So I think from our perspective, myself and my husband, um, I think it sets you up for success, and it teaches you those lessons that move from athletics to life, and like it's amazing, right? So
My parents, West Indian, both athletes. I grew up, from my earliest memory, I was involved in some kind of sport. So it was very natural. It was a no-brainer, really. I didn't even think about it. I thought, let's throw them in everything. Swimming, soccer, what else did we try? Hockey, baseball, gymnastics, of course. Let's try everything. We want them to meet all kinds of new people from different walks of life. We want them to experience good and bad things through sport. And it was, again, it was very natural. It wasn't even a thought. As soon as they were old enough to put one foot in front of the other, and in some cases they weren't even able to do that, we thought, let's throw them in sports. And in reflection, years later, I have to look back and think why I did it. But it was just, we have to try it. I just know through my experiences, there's nothing else that could have given me the life lessons. Very much like Kaylee said, there's nothing that could have compared and taught me the things that I've learned at such a young age. Can't learn it on the playground. Can't learn it in school. You're not going to learn it in your house. So it was just kind of a no-brainer, right? And I think the society and the community we live in, we get hung up in our own little silos, right? We, especially our kids, right? They would be on this call right now like this, right? On their phone. And I wanted to get them out, and I wanted to bring them out of their shell as well. So
I didn't grow up in that competitive sport world. I have no brothers, so it wasn't like my parents came from Jamaica. They weren't really, kind of in tune to the lifestyle here and the sport here. I started doing gymnastics when I was young, and there was an opportunity that came by my door when I think I was in grade 4, so I was pretty little. I remember it vividly, and I don't really know what transpired or where I could have been in gymnastics had we followed that path. And that for me is a personal thing that I've kind of is sitting in the back of my mind. It's not that I'm expecting any of my kids to live out my dream, but at the very least, I want to make sure that we've crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's and given them all the opportunities that were available to us within our means, to give them the opportunity that they want, so that they never look back like me and think, I wonder if I had just made that phone call. What if I had pushed my parents a little harder to say, hey, what if I had done this? I don't want to have any of my kids look back and do that. So that's kind of my piece. But then, when I met Sean, we were in high school. He was a big baseball player at the time. He was pursuing his own dream. He was on his way to a scholarship to the States, and I like grew right into that. And I, learned sport through him. So it became very natural that once we had kids, that's what it was going to be. I never played a competitive sport in my life, but let me
You
tell
learn
you,
very quickly.
I learned and I like it. Everybody knows I like it. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, and all jokes aside, it's taught us a lot of things. Me personally, the kids, the family as a whole. One thing I know for sure, it's a commitment. It's all hands in. Like if you're deciding to go down this road and you're going to do it in a serious way, you're making a big commitment from a lifestyle standpoint, from a family standpoint, financially. I mean, it's all hands in.